Chapter 14. One very hot morning in July, we were down on North Beach where Timothy had found a patch of calico scallops not too far offshore. It was the hottest day we'd ever had on the Cay, so hot that each breath felt like fire. And for once, the trade wind was not blowing. Nothing on the Cay seemed to be moving. North Beach was a very strange beach anyways. The sand on it felt coarser to my feet. Everything about it felt different. But that didn't really make sense since it was only about a mile from South Beach. Timothy explained. Dinat is alles de bleak beach on any island. But he couldn't explain why. He had just brought some calico scallops ashore when we heard a rifle shot. He came quickly to my side, saying, "Da be trouble." Trouble? I thought it meant someone had found the Cay. That wasn't trouble. Excited, I asked, "Who's shooting?" "The sea," he said. I laughed at him. "The sea can't shoot a rifle." "A crack like the rifle," he said, worrying his voice. "It can make the shot. All right, all right. It be tell us a very bad storm is coming, Philippe. A tempest." I couldn't quite believe that. However, there had been distinctly a crack like a rifle or pistol shot. He said anxiously, "The waves do it. Somewhere far off, out beyond the Grenadines, on that pesky bight off Honduras. A hurricane is spawning, young boss. I feel it. What we heard was a wave passing this way, past the Humboldt Point." I heard him sniffing the air as he could smell the hurricane coming. Without the wind, there was a breathless silence around our Cay. The sea, he told me, was smooth as green jelly, but already the water was getting cloudy. There were no birds in sight. The sky, he said, had a yellowish cast to it. "Come along, we have much to do. The calico can wait their own self till after the tempest." We went up to our hill. Now I knew why he had chosen the highest point of land on the Cay for our hut. Even so, I thought the waves might tumble over it. The first thing Timothy did was lash our water keg high on a palm trunk. Next, he took the remaining rope that we had and tied it securely around the same sturdy tree. "In case the tempest reach this high, lock your arms over the rope and hang on, Philippe." I realized then why he had used our rope sparingly, why he had made my guideline down to East Beach from vines instead of rope. Every day I learned of something new that Timothy had done so we could survive. During the afternoon, he told me that this was a freak storm because most did not come until September or October, August sometimes, seldom in July. "But this year the sea be angry, with all the death upon it, the war." The storms bred, Timothy said, in the eastern North Atlantic, south of the Cape Verde Islands, in the fall. But sometimes, when they were freaks and early, they bred much closer, in a triangle way off the north tip of South America. Once in a great while, in June or July, they sometimes made it up not far from Prudencia and San Andres. Near us, the June ones were only pesky, but the July ones were dangerous. "This be a western storm, I be guessing. They outrageous strong when they come," he said. Even Stukat was nervous. He was around my legs whenever I moved. I asked Timothy what we should do to protect him. He laughed. "Stukat be go up in the palm on the lee side, if it be getting too terrible. Don't worry about Stukat." Yet I could not help worrying. The thought of losing either of them was unbearable. If something bad happened to us on the Cay, I wanted it to happen to all of us. Nothing changed during the afternoon, although it seemed to get even hotter. Timothy spent a lot of time down at the raft, stripping off everything usable and carrying it back up the hill. He said we might never see it again, or else it might wash up the hill so that it would be impossible to launch. Timothy was not purposely trying to frighten me about the violence of the storm. He was just being honest. He had good reason to be frightened himself. "In 28, I be on the heady red stout o' Antigua, when the tempest hit. The wind was outrageous, and the old schooner break up like chips falling for the axe. I wash ashore from the sea, so wild no man believe it. No other man on the heady red live except me." I knew that wild sea from long ago was much on Timothy's mind all afternoon. We had a huge meal late in the day, much bigger than usual, because Timothy said we might not be able to eat for several days. We had fish and coconut meat, and we drank several cups of coconut milk. Timothy said that the fish might not return to the reef for at least a week. He noticed that they had already gone to deep water. After we ate, Timothy carefully cleaned his knife and put it in the tin box, which he lashed high on the same tree that held our water keg. "We ready, Philippe," he said.